This is California, and to some, it is no longer their home.
I did think that I was going to stay here forever. Every single one of these houses was completely burnt.
My California dream it's done.
In the span of 2 years, California's population has dropped by more than 500,000 people.
Oracle's stunning announcement that after decades in Silicon Valley, it's moving its headquarters to Austin, Texas.
And new this morning, Tesla says it's officially moved its corporate headquarters from just outside of Austin.
There's a good chance you may know someone who left the state over the past 2 years.
A Golden State exodus and a Lone Star State explosion. But is it true? Join us as we meet some Californians making the move to see if the grass in Texas is really greener.
I was assaulted twice on the park.
Never had a house this large in my life.
It is definitely a lower cost of living in Texas.
The home that I once remembered and knew back in the 1980s and the 1990s, a lot of that's gone now.
Are you in my Facebook group, moved to Texas from California?
I'm Karina Nova. California Dreaming is all about looking at the challenges facing the Golden State and the people trying to come up with potential solutions. We all know our state faces some major challenges, and those may not be solved overnight. For most Californians, the positive aspects of our state far outweigh the challenges we face. But for a small group of Californians, the problems are enough to push them to leave the state they love. Making things better often takes some critical self-reflection. So today, we're going to do that with these former Californians in an effort to learn how we might be able to make things better for the rest of us. Whether it's people moving or companies moving, it feels like there are more people trading the Golden State for the Lone Star State. But is that really true? The short answer is yes. The number of Californians moving to Texas has gone up in the past few years, but actually, it's been steadily increasing since 2009. And in 2018, that number jumped. If you added up all the people who moved to and from Texas within the United States, 34% came from California. Now, people from Texas have also been moving to California, but that number has stayed about the same over the past 10 years. So when we compare the estimated net flow of people between the states from 2017 to 2019, Texas has a 2-to-1 advantage. For the last 3 years, we had to turn to other sources that helps us fill in the blanks. Move Buddha is a relocation website. It calculates costs for people planning to make a move from state to state and gives insight into moving trends before they happen. Their most popular searches over the last few years were from cities in California to Texas. And that's not all. Looking at Texas driver's license applications where people listed California as their last residence, the numbers have been steadily increasing for the last 10 years. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that Californians are moving to Texas. But let's put the numbers in context. Of the almost 40 million people living in California, the total number of people leaving the state each year makes up less than 1%. But it's true, the majority of those people are indeed heading to Texas. Let's meet some of them.
I think Texas is attractive for the same reasons that Arizona and Nevada are attractive, which is that home prices are lower and there's plenty of job opportunities. When I was the mayor of Ventura, the thing that I treasured the most was that most of the people who lived in town also worked in town. It was a complete community. And one of the things I tried to do as mayor was to protect that and ensure that that could continue. That requires building more housing so that young families can afford to live there. And that really hasn't happened. So one of the things I greatly fear about Ventura and elsewhere in coastal California is that it's not a place for everybody anymore, and especially not a place for young families. It's a place basically where older, affluent people now live. And I think something has really been lost there. Those are the people who are moving to places like Texas.
Generally speaking, home prices in Texas cost less than half of homes in California. U.S. Census Bureau numbers show that the middle and lower classes are leaving California at a higher rate than the wealthy. Many who have left in recent years say they simply couldn't afford to stay.
My name is Jennifer Balick, and I am from Ventura County. I am the mom to 6 kids. We are a blended family, a big Balick bunch. And we moved to Texas in April of 2021 to try to live the American dream. We were not doing that in California. Being a big family, we really needed the space to house everybody comfortably without, being super squished. So it was really not even a thing for us to be able to buy out there what we needed to provide for our family. So I feel like the California dream was the American dream in my grandparents' and my parents' era. That's just not possible for our generation to live that American dream in that state anymore. It's so expensive that you're struggling every month just to get by and, pay your rent and your mortgage and put food on the table. So I really just feel like it's unattainable there right now.
Welcome back. We've heard how housing affordability is closely tied to more Californians leaving the Golden State. But when you combine housing, goods, and services all together into real purchasing power for people, California is 15% more expensive to live in than the overall United States.
I have my own food truck. Unfortunately, it was getting too expensive.
The reason why I left California, honestly, is just the cost. The cost of living, the cost of running a business, regulations.
Happy birthday to you.
It is right now, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I gotta check in by 4 o'clock. Our plane leaves at 5. And this week what we are going to find out is, number one is location, where we can park our food truck. We're in San Antonio, Texas right now. We came to this food park to come and check it out. It's called The Point. It's pretty neat, honestly.
So far, our move has been excellent. I can't complain. We did the move from Paris, California to San Antonio, Texas in 26 hours. I lived 2 hours away from Disneyland. I used to go to Disneyland one day and spend $1,500, and I was already nervous the next day because I spent too much money. How is it that I see families coming from Texas, from other states, and they're spending a whole week in Disneyland? Imagine what the cost it is to stay at the hotel, and they can afford to stay there for all week. And I live 60 miles, and I can barely afford to go there once a year. So there's something wrong there, So that's the reason why I say my California dream it's done.
Hey, it's Marie here, and it is Friday, February 11th, and I'm here to meet clients that are just about to go under contract. They've been waiting a few weeks. They've been on the waiting list for several weeks, and the builder actually is locking the doors because so many people want to come in because they've heard that they're contracting. So it was a big deal to get my clients in here today, and all the construction going on, you guys can see just everywhere. Hey there, it is Thursday, February 3rd. Very cold today in Texas. It's one of those days where it's snowing. So when I start working, I usually go and check the Facebook group Move to Texas from California, and we add members into the group. We actually don't add every single person to the group. The reason that we do that is because we've had a lot of trolls in the past. There's actually people that tried to get our group taken down because some people think that Californians are here to change Texas, and that's actually not the case.
With so many Californians moving to Texas, some worry the political makeup of the state is going to change. But maybe those worries are overblown. In fact, some people are moving to Texas because of their conservative values.
Hi there, my name is Simon Black, and this is my wife, Brigitte Black. And we were originally from California. We had lived there our entire lives, 46 years. I was born in Berkeley, and my wife here was born in Walnut Creek. It seems that the environment politically in California has just been a one-party rule. Republicans have done absolutely nothing to change anything in any way, it seems to me. They've been cowardly about it.
I joined a conservative group, and I'm meeting a lot of like-minded people and new friends, and it's very sad in Contra Costa County. You can't even be conservative. You kind of have to hide if you're conservative, almost. I mean, my friend just joined a group in Contra Costa County, and she said it's literally a secret group.
From politics to housing prices to safety, another reason why some people say they are leaving the Golden State.
My family is originally from South Korea. We immigrated in 1972 when I was a baby, and we lived in Los Angeles most of our life. We own grocery markets. Unfortunately, my parents' grocery stores were burned down in the LA riots, two of them, near Koreatown. And so that was, quite a traumatic experience for my family. A lot of things happened in between, but, we stayed true to California, the Golden State. California is, utterly a beautiful state. I mean, there's no denying that. Everybody that I know that has moved from California to Texas, they all say, yeah, we miss the beach, we miss the scenery. I used to go camping. I think I've hit almost every national forest in California. And so, it was hard to give that up. So with that said, I definitely think that the state is mismanaged. We moved primarily because of the crime. And for me, it was not only the crime, but also, the amount of homelessness, needles. I was assaulted twice on the BART. Those particular assaults, I really do think it had to do with the same kind of violence that I saw in the Bay Area towards Asian Americans.
What's the filming about that's going on right now?
They're covering stories of people who are moving to Texas.
Yeah, a friend of mine moved there just a few years ago. Due to the fires, the landlord wanted to take over the rental that he was renting to him because his house burned down. So my friend was forced out and done with California. So he picked Texas.
I think the fires, was just the first inkling that something was not perfect about Sonoma County.
Day 5, working in triple-digit heat, surrounded in dense black smoke.
Frightened residents rushed to escape the firestorm sweeping through California's wine country.
Tens of thousands of acres have been devastated by the fires.
I've had to evacuate my parents, up in Wickiup for several fires. For one of them, they had to come stay with me for about 10 days before they could go back home. That part kind of wears on you after a while. I did think that I was going to stay here forever. I actually thought I would die in my house, or something, I was never going to leave. After the campfire, after doing some volunteer work up there, that was very hard for me. I just couldn't bear the grief anymore. It really broke my heart. It totally shook my sense of having grown up in this really safe community, all of this has been rebuilt.
All of this was burnt then.
Every single one of these houses was completely burnt. I'm a sucker for old houses, though. I love old Victorians. This is like probably what I'm going to miss the most is the JC neighborhood with all these beautiful old homes. The brush has grown up so much. It's just like another fire hazard waiting. Look at all that. There's one that's totally scorched.
So we know they're moving. We know why they're moving, but is the grass in Texas really greener? Is that big move paying off, or are these former residents having buyer's remorse? We circled back to them a year later to see how they're feeling. So is the grass in Texas really greener? We talked to everyone a year later to see how they're feeling.
I miss my friends and my family. That's the main thing. I mean, I miss the ocean a little bit. I miss the ocean, but not enough to move back. Yeah.
I do miss a little bit being able to drive to Reno. Now we do have Oklahoma, which has a couple of big casinos, but it's not quite the same as it is going to Reno because there is a main strip there. There's lots of other casinos. South Shore Tahoe is very beautiful. I do miss that a little bit. Also, as a 49er fan, diehard since I was 8, you know, I've got some other friends here that are also 49er fans, but of course that's not the majority, and I knew that from the beginning. I do miss being in a place where everybody roots for the same team for the most part. And of course the sunsets over the bay are very beautiful. You know, I kind of enjoyed Highway 24 a little bit, driving through Orinda and Lafayette. I do miss that. But again, we'd have the same house, the 1,600 square footer that we had in Concord. And that's, you know, I think about that. And then while I miss those other things, it doesn't bother me quite as much when I think about it. I do also miss, I do miss Togo's restaurants. They don't have any out here. And there is a restaurant in Pleasant Hill, the Back 40 Texas Barbecue, which is actually really good. And it's kind of hard to find a balance. If I would ever move back to California, it's very, very small, open-ended. Number one, the whole state would have to clean up, get some of those rotten politicians, be tough on crime again, like you should. People's attitudes would just have to change. But for the most part, I really am happy here. I have very, very little desire to move back as a whole.
We're a little afraid that we weren't going to make good friends here, but you know, I have 14 people coming to my birthday party this weekend. So we were able to make friends a lot quicker here. Yeah, we've been here like a year and 8 months now. My commute is 7 minutes to work. I have plenty of time to spend with my wife and, you know, help her with her business. My wife feels completely safe here. And that really was the major criteria for moving here.
The thing that I miss about California, I miss my mom the most. My mom's there in Riverside, California, honestly. My daughter, I have a daughter there as well too in California. Being so close to Tijuana, Baja California, be able to take off for 2 days, me and my wife go get our fix on different food that we're missing from there already. And unfortunately, I'm 1,300 miles away now, and it's not that easy. The only way that I would go back is if my mom wouldn't want to come here to Texas with me. So depending if my mom really likes it here and we can make life, I would stay here in Texas. But if not, I would move back to California, or if there's a right business opportunity back in California. So it could be a maybe.
The girls are doing choir and art, and my son has totally picked up fishing, loves fishing, wants to go to the pond to go fishing every single day. So that's kind of cool. Off the video games, doing something outside. I love it. So yeah, they're super happy too. They're all doing really well in school. Yeah, we definitely have not even contemplated moving back. We are just really happy out here.
We don't mind at all if people talk about regretting moving. Not everyone is going to be happy moving across country. Most people will talk about the weather because it's definitely hotter in the summer. They will talk about, we do have higher property tax percentage rates. It doesn't always mean that the amount they pay is going to be more, but we do have higher property tax percentage rates. And then of course, people miss their families.
Now I've lived in Texas for 14 months, outside of Houston. I really miss the natural beauty of Sonoma County. I'm gonna really make an effort this year to try to meet more people so that I really give it my best shot there. But if I don't end up making more friends there, I probably will come back just because I care so much about the people who are here. I did not sell my house here, so I left that option open. But I think that this will always feel like home to me. I've only been in Texas for 14 months, so we'll see. I might go back. And I might stay there.
Texas and California are both great places, and they have different pros and cons. I might stay here, I might go back. If you define the American dream as living in a big house on a big lot, yes, it's easier to live in Texas. But California is still a great place for people to pursue their dreams, depending on what they're looking for.
We've heard the reasons, from housing to politics to safety, as to why people are leaving California. It's still not what those headlines are claiming. A mass exodus? No. California is still a place where people are choosing to call home.